Hello friends and welcome to Average Classes. So today's topic is going to be again very interesting, that is your cavitation. Application means you have to avoid the cavitation. Or cavitation doesn't have any application. You have to avoid in applications you have to avoid cavitation. So before this topic you might have known cavitation is dependent on vapor pressure, and we have already discussed detailedly about the vapor pressure. Why vapor pressure? What is the difference between vapor and water bubbles, which people get confused a lot. Okay, you'll find that in the link description, written in the description. Okay, so if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do subscribe. So cavitation. Okay, we know the boiling depends on two conditions. Our boiling depends on two conditions. One, when the temperature of the liquid is greater than the saturation temperature, is greater than or equal to the saturation temperature, we say it will boil. Second condition what we studied it, if the pressure of the liquid falls below the vapor pressure. Second topic what we have studied is the pressure of the liquid. When it falls below the vapor pressure, your boiling starts. Understood? So now that's what we are going to study, how that affects the cavitation. Okay, see, listen to it. It's very interesting. Now let us say we have a pipeline. Okay, in the pipeline water is flowing. We are taking water in the example. Okay, water is flowing, and let us say at this section it is having low pressure. It is having low pressure. That means the pressure fell below the vapor pressure. That means the pressure fell below the vapor pressure. What will happen, sir? It will boil. Boil means what? Sir, it will form bubbles. It will form bubbles. Okay, it will start flowing bubbles. Sir, why the pressure fell below the vapor pressure? Let us say it's flowing at a very high velocity, and we know from the Bernoulli's equation that, or which Sir Bernoulli told, and hence he proved that if the velocity is more, pressure will drop. Okay, let us say here the velocity was too high such that the pressure fell below, and at some point in the pipe flow, the pressure fell below the vapor pressure of the liquid. When it fell below the vapor pressure of the liquid, it starts boiling. That means it starts forming bubble. Okay, because it has high velocity, so it took the bubbles along with it. Let us say to one more cross section or one more area where the pressure is high. What I am trying to say, there was a low pressure region. In the low pressure region, because of the high velocity, pressure dropped, and when the pressure fell below the vapor pressure of the liquid, the bubbles started forming. Means my vapor bubbles are here. Okay? So because of the high velocity, the bubbles were carried away. The bubbles got carried away to the another region where the pressure was high. Let us say this is the boundary after which the pressure is high. So what will happen? As soon as your bubble crosses this, what happens? Let us say this is your bubble. I am drawing little big. What? Because of the high pressure, it will collapse. Matlab implosion will take place. See, explosion. Correct? Implosion. Understood? So, sir, why sir? Why? That mechanism also will study. So, surrounding what? Because of the implosion, there will be a void here. Because of the implosion, there is going to be a void. To occupy this, surrounding liquids will rush into it. Surrounding liquid will rush to occupy that space. This kind of phenomena we call what? Cavitation. This phenomenon only we call it cavitation. What I wrote here, cavitation is the rapid formation and collapse of vapor bubbles in a liquid. This entire phenomena we call it cavitation. And remember, cavitation is a low pressure phenomenon. Okay? Understood? Vapor, liquid pressure of the liquid fell below the vapor pressure of the liquid. So bubble formed. That bubbles went into a high pressure region where they collapse. When they collapse, they create a space or void. In order to occupy the space and void, surrounding liquids, what? In order to occupy the space, surrounding liquids, rushed in, and it implode. What happened? Implosion. What happened? Implosion. Okay. What happened? Implosion. Yes. Because of that, what happened? It burst or it collapsed, and we call it as cavitation. What happens when it collapses? It releases energy. It releases pressure shock. There will be vibration. There will be some audible noise. So do we want cavitation? No, we don't want cavitation to happen. Okay? Now, for our interest, for sake of our interest, we'll try to study how did this happen. We'll try to study the step-by-step procedure of how did this happen. Okay, if you are writing any exam, this is enough. Next, what I'm going to talk is very, very important for your knowledge and very, very important for interview purpose. Okay, so I'm going to erase it now, and we will study how this collapse things happens. Okay, noted? Good. So it's collapsing of water bubbles. Now it's a spectacular event. Collapsing of water bubbles is a spectacular event. Indeed, it's a very, very spectacular event. Ask any research scholar who has worked in this area, they will say, wow, it's beauty seeing this collapsing of bubbles. Okay, now see, remember. So let's study how this happens. At 2.3 kilopascal absolute pressure. Sir, what is absolute pressure? These all things we'll study in our module 1, chapter 2. Okay, what is absolute pressure? What is gauge pressure? Okay, what is atmospheric pressure? These all things we'll study in our chapter 2. See, at 2.3 kilopascal absolute pressure, the volume occupied by a vapor bubble is nearly how many times? 50,000 times more than the volume occupied by water liquid. If 1 cubic centimeter is the volume occupied by the liquid, if it will convert to the vapor around 2.3 kilopascal absolute pressure, how many times it will occupy the volume? How many times it will occupy the space? 50,000 times, means 50,000 cc, imagine. Understood? So now you know, if there is a vapor bubble occupying some space, if it will convert to liquid, this is the volume it is occupying. Can you see the difference? How much less volume the liquid occupies compared to how much volume the vapor bubble occupies. That's why we call it implosion. It implodes. It doesn't explode. It implodes. Okay. So if this is, I am telling vapor bubble, this is liquid drop. Now how did this happen? This is liquid drop. Now see, we'll go step by step. Okay, our step 1. What happened, sir? In step 1, the local pressure fell below the vapor pressure. The local pressure fell below the vapor pressure. What will happen? Bubble will start growing. Bubble starts growing because of the low pressure. You can write bubble starts growing as low pressure. Because there is low pressure, your bubble will start grow. Now step 2. What is step 2? When your P local is equal to P vapor pressure. When your P local becomes equal to P vapor pressure. What will happen, sir? When this P local becomes equal to your P vapor pressure, there is no further growth of the bubble. There is no further growth of bubble. Bubble doesn't grow anymore. That means it stops here because P local equal to P vapor. Again, it's a theoretical condition. It will burst like this. I'll tell you when all these things are happening. Next, we'll go for your step 3. Now, in step 3, what happens? In step 3 what happened? Your P local, now your P local fell below the P vapor pressure. P local fell below the vapor pressure. Now what will happen here? Now what will happen here? Sir, you have told bubble will collapse. Oh, sorry, P local is greater than P vapor pressure. Sir, you have told the bubble will collapse. How it collapse? See, very, very beautiful concept this is. So now, what will happen is, the surface of the bubble, yes, the surface of the bubble will start breaking. The surface of the bubble will start breaking at the weakest point. The surface starts breaking. Where the breaking will start? Where the collapse will start? Always at the weakest point. At the weakest point. Then what will happen? Then the collapse will happen. How it will collapse? Let us say the weakest point is somewhere on the right. Okay, let us say the weakest point is somewhere on the right. Here is the weakest point. Okay, here is the weakest point. Okay, so now what will happen? See, this water which were there already on the surrounding, they are trying to occupy this space. Yes or no? The water is trying to occupy the space which was there. Vapor bubble was already having that. So what we'll write here is the water. Next day what happened? The water flows through. The water flows through the space that has been occupied by the bubble. So bubble has occupied this much space. Okay. Now when the P local is greater than P vapor, what? They are trying to compress it. After compressing, let us say the weakest point is here. At the weakest point, the surface will start breaking. So the liquid which is there on the surrounding, they will try to rush in. They will try to rush in through this. Correct? Rush in through what? Rush in through the space. Which space? The space which has been occupied by the bubble itself. The space which has been occupied by the bubble itself, the water will try rush in. Okay? Next will not happen. That's it. It is gonna break now. Now what will happen? It's gonna break. By how? There will be a microjet formation. Now what will happen? A microjet formation will happen here. Okay. Microjet. The microjet occupies the remains, whatever the remaining space remains of the bubble. Now there will be a microjet form which will pierce through the vapor bubble itself. Okay, here what? Here the implosion starts. Where this is known as the implosion starts. Here the collapse occurs. I'll write here implosion. Okay, I'll write here collapse. Here what? The formation of microjet. You understood? So in step 3 what will happen? The local pressure. When the local pressure becomes more than the vapor pressure, there will be an implosion. Means the surface starts breaking at the weakest point. Let us say this is my weakest point. So the water surrounding this vapor bubble will try to rush in and it flows through the space. Okay. Then what happens? This forms a microjet which occupies the remaining portion of the bubble. Understood? So let me just erase this. Okay, na? So this step 3, after step 3, what? It will create a huge amount of energy. It will create step 4. It will release. It's going to release a huge, good amount of energy. It will release energy for a very short time. And concentrated in a small space, in a area. Okay, so it will release a good amount of energy for a very small interval of time and concentrated at a small area itself. A small target. The target will be very small. See, it's a liquid jet only, right? It's a very small liquid jet. Because of this release in energy, you may find some pressure shocks. That's why you will find what? What will you find? Pressure shocks. Sir, how do you know they are pressure shock? There will be some audible energy. There will be some audible noise. Definitely you will get some audible noise because of this. There will be some audible noise because of the pressure shock. Why pressure shocks? Because it imploded. As it imploded, what imploded? The bubble imploded. It releases energy for a short time, targeted or concentrated on a small area, a small portion, small space. Understood? Okay. So this is your cavitation phenomena. So this is your cavitation phenomena. Okay. Now note it down. Pause the video. Note it down. I am going to tell you the effect now. Note it. Note it. Okay. So let me erase it. Let me just erase it. So now you understood. So you have now clearly understood what is cavitation and how the cavitation occurs. Now we'll see if the cavitation occurs, what will happen. Now we'll see if the cavitation occurs, then what will be its consequences. Now just imagine the stream jet or the microjet which is formed will come near a surface. So this is your microjet that was, the bubble which is bursting, and the microjet just pierced through it. The microjet just pierced through it. So what will happen? The microjet which is coming, through this, piercing through it, now will impact, will create a what? Will disturb or will create a micro crack on the surface. Will create a micro crack in the surface. Suppose this cavitation phenomena is near any surface. Your water is flowing in the tube. Okay, pipe. Let us say this phenomena is occurring near the surface of the pipe. What will happen? The microjet which got now in your step 3, now the microjet will pierce through the surface of this tube. Okay, surface of the tube. It will create, that's the process what we'll call, it will create some kind of strain. It will create a, okay. So understood. What will happen? So this is your collapsing bubble. Okay, and this is nothing but your microjet, and this is the surface. Okay, so the microjet will hit the surface and damage it. The microjet will hit the surface and damage it by something known as localized short-term overstraining. The term for this is the microjet will hit the surface and damage it by some known as localized short-term overstraining. This will create micro cracks on the surface. And we know whenever the crack develops, it has a tendency to propagate. Then the crack will propagate, and at the end, whatever you are doing, that will be damaged. That will fall. That will break completely. So this is a very, 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 very serious effect of cavitation. This is a very serious effect of cavitation. So where we are getting these kind of things in a practical life? Where we are getting? We are getting in the penstock. Where we are getting? We are finding that in the penstock of the power plant. Penstock of the power plant. Where we are finding it? Inlet. We are finding inlet of the suction pipe. Suction pipe of centrifugal pump. Centrifugal pump. You have a pump, right? There is a delivery tube. There is a suction tube. Okay, you will find inlet of the pump. Inlet of the suction tube. You will find it. Where else you can find it? You will find it outlet of the. You will find it. Outlet of the turbine, outlet of the turbine, or entry to the draft tube. These are all things in your hydraulic machines you will study. What is draft tube, turbine, reaction turbine, what is the centrifugal pump and all. Suppose this is your turbine. This is your turbine T. This is the inlet. Now this is the outlet. So exit or outlet of the turbine. Then you have a draft tube like this. Okay. So where you will find this cavitation phenomena? Outlet of the turbine or entry to the draft tube. Suction pipe of the suction pipe or inlet to the centrifugal pump. Penstock of the power plant. Propellers. You will find propellers. This is how actually the cavitation started, from the propeller. Cavitation phenomena, effect of vapor pressure and the propeller from 1880s. Okay, so you understood this cavitation, right? Correct. So we need to overcome the cavitation. So how we can overcome the cavitation? There are two things. We can overcome the cavitation phenomena. Number one, you do not allow the P local to fall below the P vapor pressure. You do not allow the local pressure to fall below the vapor pressure, which is almost impossible. No matter what you do, some point it will fall below the vapor pressure only. But you try to minimize. So instead of do not allow, you try minimize. Try to minimize not allowing local pressure to fall below the vapor pressure of the liquid. Second, go for a better material. You use some kind of alloy, okay, so that this localized short-term overstraining will not happen. The localized short-term overstraining should not happen, means it has more high strength to resist the impact. So that this cavitation phenomena at least you can minimize. So do we have something mathematical, to know about this cavitation? Yes, we call it cavitation number. Note it down. We are almost done. Note it? Okay. So the cavitation number sigma is nothing but sigma. The cavitation number sigma is equal to your P local minus P vapor divided by half rho V square. V is the velocity of the fluid in that medium. Rho is the density of the fluid. P local is the local pressure. P vapor means vapor pressure of the liquid. So if P local is equal to P vapor, local pressure is equal to P vapor pressure, what happens to sigma? 0. What we call this condition for cavitation. That's it. Now the cavitation will start. So as long as your P local is greater than P vapor, sigma is positive, no cavitation. When your P local falls below the P vapor pressure, sigma is negative means it will start cavitation. Means again the bubble will rapid formation and collapse of the vapor bubbles. I hope your cavitation doubt is now crystal clear. So what are the effects of cavitation? Okay, so we understood what is cavitation. Okay, we understood how the vapor bubbles collapse and how the cavitation occurs. Okay, so now we'll be studying what are the effects of cavitation. See, first hydraulic effects, that is low efficiency. There is some instability in the flow, so that's why your efficiency of your hydraulic machines are going to be decreasing. Second, your mechanical, we have already studied, there will be a damage in the surface, there will be unwanted noise, audible noise you can use, there will be a pressure shock because of which you will be having vibrations. Okay, so that's the mechanical. And also we studied that because of localized short-term overstraining, it will erode the material. That is, surface erosion will take place. That term we call it as pitting action. That's what we call it as pitting action. And overall, what the cavitation is doing? It is decreasing the hydrodynamic performance. What it is doing? It is decreasing the hydrodynamic performance of your hydraulic machines. Okay, so this is all about your cavitation. I hope you understood the cavitation process in detail. So have a good day. Until now, if you have not subscribed to the channel, Please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.